I do hope everybody is having a great day. Better than what we've been having down here in Florida. I've just been hit by Hurricane Helene as well as Hurricane Milton, so those both flew through my neighborhood, which was exciting, but not necessarily in a fun kind of exciting way. It was more on the terrifying side, but here we go. I stayed home and held down the fort and made sure that things went as smoothly as I could from the inside of the house without putting myself in too much danger, even though staying here was not maybe the best idea, but the house stood and everything, so that's wonderful. This is in limp mode, and I just mean that I just haven't driven it, mainly because of the storms and everything, and I just don't want to wear anything out until I can actually get some new parts on there for the exhaust. But I have been working left and right on this little gym, if you want to call it that. I've been doing a lot of different things on this one, and I have been mobbing this one around a lot. The mileage on this one now is 105 477. I've put almost 1,000 miles on it, I think, in a relatively short amount of time. Things that I've done to the truck so far. As if you've seen the other video, I have already converted that to top post and reused a battery of mine that is from 422. That one is still running on the vehicle. I also cleaned up all of the wires that were bad over here. You can see all that. This was chewed up, and I repaired a lot of that. A lot of the wires were actually broken. Went ahead and actually put jumper wires in there, which is why it looks like there's so many yellow wires, because they were literally chewed out of there, and I was able to pop that purple piece off and figure out how to pop the rubber plug that comes out of it and shove new wire in there and twist it to this one. Everything's held in there really well. There are only three things that weren't working on the vehicle at the point, and one thing was the tachometer or RPM gauge, which now that the wires are fixed, I actually am able to see my revolutions per minute, which is one of those gauges I do like to see, seeing how I am stick shifting around towns. That's wonderful. I've also tried refilling the AC. I'm a little bit short on the little itty bitty cans, because if you're supposed to do the AC right, you're supposed to suck the whole system out and put it on a vacuum, let the vacuum sit for a while, checking for vacuum. If that's good, refill it up to the poundage that it says somewhere usually marked on the vehicle. If not, that information is pretty easy to find, especially if you're working on an AC and you have one of those expensive AC machines. Luckily, not really. I don't have one of those machines. I do have one of the quick refill machines that you can buy at AutoZone with a little gauge on it that says good or not. Who knows if it's accurate, but off of using that to refill it on the low side, which that's low side, that is high side right there, I was able to get the compressor to kick on. It is accepting new Freon, which, like I said before, the previous owner did replace the compressor and all kinds of pieces and parts along in the AC system. So I'm starting to get AC in there. I just need to actually take it down the road to see if the wind is going to make a difference on the front. If you can see all of the actual spotting and everything in this little kit right here, which is to polish the headlights out. And this is an example of the old one, because I haven't done this one yet. And then this is what I was able to do with the other side, which was just as bad, if not a little bit worse, but this is now, it is so much better. So yellow, so much better. I'm gonna end up cleaning that up, and the only thing that I used was a Harbor Freight drill, which I've had for quite a while and has lasted me quite well, seriously. And I picked up their kit. I don't want to pick it up because I have all these sanding pads right there, but they have a sanding kit for lens repair, and also at Harbor Freight, which I think you can find this at a couple different places. But the Plastex clear plastic cleaner and polish works really, really well, and that's what got this back to there. If you do pick up this kit, just take a pen and mark the backside, because if you could see past it, you can kind of see that P on there, but it is so hard to read these anytime you put them on the actual pad and then take it off, it's just like the numbers just instantly erase if it's already, because it was already hard to read. I do suggest marking that and then moving on, because that's a really good kit for the price and everything. And because I have a truck, I gotta do another mower, which is fantastic. So that's making things a little bit easier for me, and I can actually get back to making a little bit more videos. It had a little rust hole back here. This holds up the tailgate, and I put a little bit of specialty oil that I make, and I put that in there and wrapped it up with electrical tape. So that's holding quite well. This one was broken and completely, I think there was just like this little tail end right down here. What I did was use a piece of wire that I have hanging around here, which I have a box of stuff just like this. And this is the other side, and I made one. So this is really well. I put quite a few generators up here now. Most of this is all cleaned out. The only thing that I had to replace on emergency, the pressure side power steering line, that blew on me one night, and I was able to find the replacement for, I think it was under 30 bucks. It was 25, and that's from AutoZone. What the big confusion is with this is if you have a pressure sensor in line to this or not. And this one does not have the pressure sensor in it. It's just straight power. What this happens to do is there's a plug in it. So the one without the plug was about 80 bucks or 85 bucks from AutoZone. But the one that's 20 or 25, I think it's 25 bucks and some change. That one actually came with a plug. And I used the plug that came with it, and that's the only difference between the two pipes. It just does it, and it's doing wonderful. I don't have any issues. I don't have any other leaks. You can see down there, that is the new line. And again, I've been running it quite a bit, and it has not faulted on me or leaked or anything like that. So far I've done that. And another thing that I've done, something I found that was extra cheap, was a $15 third brake light. But for some odd reason, it was so short compared to the actual stock one. It left gaps on the side here. There was no way for me to be able to actually have that sealed off without me throwing caulk or something like that, which I'm on a budget, but I'm not on that type of a budget. I don't want to put caulk in a huge hole that is about as big as my thumb. I was okay with that. That's going to get the third brake light is going to get returned. But what I did was actually reinforce this, because if you see really closely, if you can see that or not, there's a repair job that I did with plastic, and then I put a piece of heat transfer vinyl over top of it, and it seems to be doing the job. It's not leaking in the cabin. And the brake light, I replaced the one. This side doesn't work because there's two different bulbs, and this side's working, this side is not. So that's totally fine. At least I have another brake light, so I have that one up there, and also the one on the tailgate. I still have a little bit of work to figure out when the lights are on with that brake light. Other than that, she has been a really, really good vehicle. I don't know, he. The truck has been really, really well. I know that I have two different size tires on the front, and these again are from 2014. They are shredding apart as I'm starting to actually get this running and everything. You can see that dry rot in there. There's more of it. Yeah, you can kind of see the condition of the car, or the tires. So this one's a different size from that side, which might be the reason why the ABS light is on. That's the only light on the dash right now. I haven't hooked it up to the machine, so I may hook it up to the machine soon and actually see what the computer says, because sometimes the computer can throw a code without actually setting off the check engine light. So I am going to end up throwing it on the machine soon and seeing what pops up. But as far as drivability, it runs really, really good for a 2.2 liter with 190 horsepower. It's not exactly, you know what I mean, your hot rod truck or anything like that, but it is done really well. I've already carried back and forth a lot of generators in this, trying to get people energy while the storm has really left a lot of people close by out of electricity. I wanted to help as much as I could, which is one of the other reasons why I haven't been vlogging, because I'm just trying to help out as much as I can. It's natural, kind of like in my nature, to just go ahead and do as much as I can without wearing myself completely out. But I've been helping a lot of people with generators and doing a lot of other things to try to get them sandbags and other things to help them survive the storms. Yeah, this has been a wonderful little truck to have. That's for darn sure. That only thing I've had to do was that high pressure power steering hose, and that was the only thing major that came up on its own. I tried to get a third brake light for it, and that just didn't work out because they just didn't make the actual part right. That's got to go back so I can get a refund or a third brake light that was better, because I liked the design of it. It just wasn't the right size. And this was an easy fix, just using spare wire that I had hanging around and just doing twists with the electrical and getting my tachometer to work. That's wonderful. So at least now I know that nothing's gonna touch together as far as the wires go and try to actually set fire, because that was in my brain that this was gonna set fire to this area because of wiring or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the other side of the headlight and get that one looking, well, get that one looking like this one, and see what happens from there. And having this truck has definitely freed up money as far as this is better gas mileage than this. It's way easier to work on, and actually I feel like I'm gonna run into less money trying to keep this one running than my Nissan, but I still have a lot of love for this car, and I don't want all this stuff on top of my car. It's just really tight in here right now, and I'm still trying to move everything around, and with the storms and everything washing through the neighborhood, it's been something. So I'm just trying to get back on it and get this cleared off, because I do want to paint this as well as so many other things. So I've got a lot of ideas and things ready for this one. I just want to actually practice on this one, which I've done really well with the paint job and spray painting. This wasn't me. So I've done really well with that before, and I really want to do this one, but I want to practice on this one and get caught back up with it. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And until next time, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, hit that like button if you can, and throw a comment down below if you have an idea of what color I should actually paint this truck, because I could use some suggestions. But I would love to hear your suggestions on what this truck color should be, even if it's two-tone, lower section or something like that, and a higher section a different color. I wouldn't mind seeing this painted, but I am kind of really stuck on what color to paint it. If you have an idea for that, let me know. Thanks, and until the next one, have a good one.